Good day. I, Dr. O. Nirmala, Assistant Professor and Head, PG Department of Defence and Strategic Studies, Guru Nanak College, Velachery, Chennai. The topic that I am going to discuss today is energy security and overview. To start off with my presentation, let me just give you a brief introduction about what are all the things that I am going to discuss today. The first one is introduction. The other one is types of energy. The next one is advantage and disadvantage of fossil fuels. The other thing is effects of non-renewable energy sources. And the other thing is advantage and disadvantage of renewable energies, few observations, suggested focal points and individual role. See, the thing that I want to discuss is energy is very, very important. As we all know, without energy, nothing will happen. It is all because of energy, the planet, it is all working. So without energy, the earth will be a very, very boring place and it is very quiet. Okay? So energy is all more powerful. Energy is immortal. Energy is everywhere and it keeps changing from one form to the other. See, the problem here is when it changes its from one to another, it actually escapes in heat, and it is the heat which is very, very difficult to catch and recycle it. Okay, and most of the energy that we use to heat our houses using mobiles, lights, fans, everything, each and everything, it is all based on energy. So that is electricity. Okay, all these things actually comes from fossil fuels, that is oil, coal and natural gas. And the scientists, they were very much worried about these fossil fuels. Why? Because Earth, it is running out of fossil fuels. Not only that, these fossil fuels will take millions and millions of years to form a new one. And not only that, burning of these fossil fuels actually gives off waste gases, mainly the carbon dioxide, which is the main culprit for the global warming. Let us see the types of energy. The energy that is classified into two types. One is renewable energy and the other is non-renewable energy. Renewable energies which can we get back again and again, even though when we use it. The non-renewables are once we use it, we cannot get back. Okay, it takes millions of years to form a new one. The renewable energies are solar energy, wind energy, biomass, hydro, geothermal. And the non-renewable energies are oil, coal, natural gas and nuclear. Let us see some advantage and disadvantage of fossil fuels. See, when we talk about the advantage of fossil fuels, the large amount of electricity can be generated in one place at a very cheaper rate. And transporting of coal, oil and all these things, it is very, very easy when we compare to other things. Fossil fuels is very easy to find. We can locate where oil is rich, where coal is rich and all other things. Fine. And the power stations, we can locate anywhere in India or anywhere in the state, wherever we want it. On the other hand, if you see the disadvantage, the main disadvantage is pollution. When we use these kind of fossil fuels, it actually pollutes the atmosphere, which results in greenhouse effect. And not only that, it also produces sulfur dioxide, which is the main reason for acid rain. And mining, it is very, very dangerous. See, we have seen in newspapers, there are so many mines that were, they find it very difficult to run. If any natural calamity occurs, again, it is a very big threat to the people who are working there and all other things. Even the coal, the fire, that itself, it takes a huge amount of energy. See, let us try to understand the effects of burning of these non-renewable energy sources. The first one is because of these non-renewable energy sources, what happens is the increase in temperature. It is because of the increase in temperature, the melting of ice, which actually cold the seas, okay, which is a very harmful threat to the marine environment. And because of these things, there is a rise in seawater level. The states that are underlying, okay, are the states who has coastal areas. they are all under threat. Not only they are all under threat, it is a very dangerous thing also. And not only the coastal areas, states, even the island states, they are also very dangerous. And some island states, what happen is, they might submerge in due course of time. So these are all the effects. And not only that, the serious other effect because of burning of fossil fuel is a climate change. See, the frequency and severity, it keeps changing because of the extreme weathers. Okay, the hurricane, the heat waves, storms, drought, etc. and etc. It is all because of the climate change, and this climate change is because of the human activities that we are using, and that is mainly because of burning of these fossil fuel energies. And these actually may not play a direct threat, but it acts as a threat multiplier, because the states, they are facing so many issues, and in spite of all those issues, the environment, it also creates a lot of issues. That is what we would like to tell you. Let us try to understand what are the advantage and disadvantage of renewable energies. As I said, renewable energies, they are very, these renewable energies, they will not run out. It keeps regenerating, okay? And the solar panels, they are very cheap to maintain. They are very cheap to maintain, okay? And these renewable energies, technologies, they actually produce more number of jobs for the people. See, if you see the disadvantages, the hydroelectricity system, it can harm the environmental. See, why I am saying is because if you want to construct a dam, what happens is you have to find out the location. Not only finding the location, you have to evacuate all the tribes or any people who are living in that area. Not only that, even the floras, faunas, everything, it will get affected. So we have to think in those terms when we construct dams and other things, okay? And the wind turbines, it is very, very noisy. And not only that, even the birds who is they are flying, no, it will also get affected. So we have to see all those disadvantages. And we cannot place these renewable renewable energies at different places. Okay, we have to find out the place where we can get solar, or where we can get waves, or where we can have the renewable energies. There only we can have all these kinds of installations. And not only that, these technology use is very, very expensive, and it is very, very difficult to purchase. Okay, and these are all the some drawbacks. Even though when we talk about renewables and non-renewables, there are few things that we are supposed to look into. The first thing is, there is an ever increase in population, and the other thing is, there is a depletion of natural resources. And because of this depletion of natural resources, there is a rise in price, that is the rise in the global market, oil prices and other things. And because of these prices, the competition over the resources, it keeps increasing. It creates a problem, okay? It creates a type of insecurity. So all these things, it actually heighten the concept of energy security, particularly when we talk about the supply of oil and other things, that is the fossil fuels. See, when we talk about India as a whole, let me just try to give you some picture about India. India is a developing state, and it actually imports fossil fuels from the foreign sources. If you see the chart, we have been mainly from the Gulf region. We are taking from the Gulf regions. Just think of the wars in Iran and Afghanistan. It actually leads to a rise in oil price, which will have an adverse effect in the Indian economy. And you may say that we have a large deposit of coal. The coal that we have in India, it is a third quality coal, and again it creates a problem for the environment. Okay, and the main thing that every state will be looking is reliance on foreign sources for our own benefits is really an obstacle for the development of any state. It is not only for India, it is for every state for that matter. Today, the world is entering in the geo-energy era, in which energy security, that is, it is very, very important when we talk about the demand and supply side. And it is very pertinent that in near future, energy security will play a decisive role in creating conflict or in creating peace-like situations or cooperations. So what are the observations that when we talk about energy security is, see, exploitation of fossil fuels actually have the potential in creating conflict and cooperation within or among the states. And not only that, the extensive use of these fossil fuels will actually damage, or which will actually leads to the environmental hazards. And not only that, the uninterrupted supply of energy, that is its safety and security, is very, very important for any nation's survival. And the use of energy resources, when we talk about the availability, safety and security, we cannot compare with that of other states. See, we cannot compare ourselves with that of Sri Lanka, or we cannot compare ourselves with that of any states. Okay? For that matter, each and every state, it differs. The other thing is, India, as I already told you, we are a developing state. We cannot limit our economic activities, even though when we talk about the risks like supply pressures, environmental issues and all other things. Reliance on import of oil and other things, it is going to keep increasing. Okay? The best thing is we are supposed to find out the alternatives. And these ever increasing activities, economic activities, the growing population and the environmental impact actually give rise to a very sensitive issues, that is the rise in prices and supply shortage and the export restrictions. See, by and large, what I would like to say here is, energy security, that is really very much associated with that of national security and also the availability of natural resources for energy consumptions. To quote the definition, it is like we are energy security when we can supply lifeline energy to all our citizens irrespective of their ability to pay for it, as well as meet their effective demand for safe and convenient energy to satisfy their various needs at a competitive prices and at all times and with a prescribed confidence level, considering the shocks and disruptions that can be reasonably expected. See, there are some focal points that we are supposed to look into. The first thing is, sustaining cooperation and collective mechanisms among the states is very, very essential when we talk about the fossil fuel energies and the environmental impacts. The other thing is, unless we find a new energy technologies, it is better we can restrict, reduce, reuse, rethink, recycle and regenerate. And the other thing is, we are supposed to enhance the use of nuclear energy technologies. We are supposed to improve the green energy technologies to keep our planet a safe one. The saving energy is very much equal to saving, producing energy. Okay? And the ultimate aim of any state would be a self-sufficiency. Few tips that I would like to tell you, what as an individual we can do when we talk about saving energy. Instead of blaming the government is not doing that, government is not doing that, all those things, what is that as an individual we can do is, we can reduce all these things, like we can go by walk if it is a short distance, we can use the public transportation like buses, trains, and then we are supposed to use a minimum amount of water, and the main thing is we have to switch off the lights and other things when it is not in use, because all the electricity, the mobiles and everything, it is all because of the electricity, and electricity production, it is very, very important for the state's development. The last thing that I would like to tell you is, we are supposed to protect our planet today for our children tomorrow. Thank you.